So over the past couple of years, organizations, including manufacturers, went through some tough times with this pandemic. What did we learn about companies that move their Dynamics deployments to the cloud, or ERP in general to the cloud, compared to those who still had on-premise?
Yeah, so I guess a lot of the organizations we work with are manufacturers, and there's no moving shop floors to the cloud. Pretty much people on the shop floor have to go in every day to make the things that they make. But what has made a big difference is those people who are in support of the shop floor, the people who are on the ground, the people in the warehouse, they've had the opportunity to work from home. And I certainly think with those organizations who have had on-prem systems, there's been a bit of a scramble to work out how they can get their people to work from home. So that accessibility has made a big difference. I'm going to say that something's changed, because halfway through the pandemic, we started getting our phone ringing off the hook virtually, with organizations saying, we need to move now. So there's certainly been a big difference for organizations who have been on-prem, thinking about that sort of distributed computing, the ability for people to log in from anywhere. And I think they've seen that pretty heavily. The other thing, I think, with organizations who are already in the cloud, they've taken the opportunity to do more automation. So, for example, scanning of invoices. That's an activity and a project a lot of organizations took on as part of being in the cloud, so they didn't need to worry about where the paperwork's at. So that's one of the big differences we've seen.
Okay, thank you. Robert, would you like to add anything?
Yeah, we actually had very unique experience during the pandemic where some of the clients we were working with actually were experiencing explosive growth because of the markets they were serving, because they already had a little bit of an idea and strategy of how they wanted to go down the digital footprint. This just accelerated their entire transformation. It allowed them to be quicker first movers, if you will, during a time where a lot of other manufacturing companies were having a difficult time to respond to their customers. There was already a challenge when it came to proper efficiencies with labor. So having not only just remote access, but working with us to partner and make sure that they understood the whole digital rollout from ERP to CRM to a host of other things, including Teams, allowed them to accelerate their transformation, go through divestitures and acquisitions, be able to respond quicker to customer demands, grow market share. And, you know, it's just been a tremendous opportunity for us to be part of that.
Okay, thank you, Robert. So Janet, from a Microsoft perspective, a lot's gone on over the last couple of years with digital transformation. What have you seen with ERP?
What I've seen with ERP in regards to the pandemic specifically is that those who were in the cloud were better able to respond to the business process changes that were required in order to do business. So for example, if you're a manufacturer and you're also doing your own distribution and retail, being able to offer curbside service to customers, or being able to offer different types of options in shipping and in receiving and other areas like that. So I think it's important that, you know, being in the cloud gave customers more agility, but it also gave them a lot more security. When you've got the massive number of people that are moving out of the office and working from home on their own networks, security becomes a major issue. And those that were in the cloud are definitely more secure than customers that were on-prem and had to scramble from the security aspect. And then, of course, the access to data is just so much easier in the cloud than it is on-prem. So I think those 3 points really helped customers that were in the cloud respond better to the pandemic.
Okay, thank you, Janet. So over to you, Cindy. Why don't you talk a little bit about your organization and sort of, you know, some of the challenges that you had over the last few years?
Sure. And so a little bit of what Debbie's talking about too, since we're a manufacturer, again, you're on site, and especially being in aviation, we're critical infrastructure. So we were working 100% through everything on the pandemic with a few people off-site limited at that time. So just kind of working through that, we were all 100% on-prem for our AX 2012 ERP system that we were using at that point, and just working through those challenges on what kind of a system can we have in place for our employees on site as well as working remote. And then we also started getting a little bit more picked up demand, particularly within the last year. And so figuring out what we needed to do on that. So that's when we decided we did need to upgrade to a cloud solution and moving over to D365 and doing our implementation as quickly as possible so that we could get moved over and take care of that. And we kept our scope limited to the functionality of what we had and working with our team to get that done. And that was important for us to have that flexibility, and we have that now, which is great.
Thank you so much for watching our video. If you want to get in touch with any of the experts you saw today, please visit www.sikich.com and we'll be happy to get you in touch with them. If you learned something new in this video, give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing for more content in the future.